Hey, welcome back to our Achievement Hunter series aimed at blasting through the Barrens gameplay achievements. The warrior through paladin achievements have already fallen to strategies in the previous guides, so this time we're having a cram session to take down the 3 mage achievements. Let's get into it. This should be interesting. For today's video, we're covering the following 3 mage achievements. Shatter Combo, demanding that we destroy 50 frozen minions. Barrens Bubbler, just to refresh 8 mana crystals with refreshing spring water in a single turn. And it's not spamming, it's art. Ultimately to deal 300 damage with our hero power as a mage. None of these requires that we win games to complete them, so we can conjure up some unusual strategies, if it makes things more interesting or efficient. If there's an achievement or deck you're looking for, there are timestamps for each achievement and deck codes for each deck we cover in the description below. Now, let's show these achievements who the game masters really are. Let's start off with the mage achievement that will likely only take a single turn to complete. Barrens Bubbler. All you have to do for this one is play 2 copies of Refreshing Spring Water in a single turn. So aside from Oh My Yogg or Counterspell, or playing an Incanter's Flow discounted copy of Refreshing Spring Water before you use enough mana to get a full refreshment, nothing should stand in your way from completing this one quite quickly. That being said, you do have to draw spells in order to refresh mana crystals, but since no minion mage is still so strong, that shouldn't be an issue. It's funny that Deck of Lunacy and Refreshing Spring Water have both been nerfed, and yet this double nerfed mage from HSReplay still has a 54% win rate. If you're looking for a fun way to complete this and then go crazy with random undercosted spells, you might try this out. Just remember that you want to draw both copies of your Refreshing Spring Water before you transform the rest of your spells in your deck with Deck of Lunacy. But if you don't have Deck of Lunacy, or you prefer to play things in a more straightforward way, this minions? Never. No minion mage from HSReplay has an even higher win rate, 57%. And with this one, there's not a temptation to transform your cards before you get both Refreshing Spring Waters in hand. And if you have the cards for Wild, you could play one of the most ridiculous decks in Wild right now. Incanter's is broken. We also pulled this particular list from HSReplay, and it's touting a 59% win rate at the moment. It went 100% for us, but you know, one game is a very small sample size. Now, you could draw a minion instead of spells with this one, so it is possible it could take a few games to complete, but the games go fast. So yeah, you'll be able to complete this one pretty easily with really strong decks in whichever mode you go after it. That's a refreshing change from a lot of the other achievements. The second achievement for mages is also pretty straightforward, Shatter Combo. And as the name suggests, one of the easiest cards to complete this with is the combo card, Brain Freeze. I think we knocked this one out in Rogue before we played hardly any games as mage this expansion. This can actually be done in any class with a card like Frozen Shadow Weaver. Or perhaps you try Freeze Shaman? But honestly, Mage certainly has more freeze options than any other class. You'll probably complete this one relatively quickly without having to use a specialized deck, but if you're looking for unusual decks to take this one on, we've got one wild and one standard deck you could try out, which are both designed to help get progress towards the hero power achievement as well. Let's start in wild because, well, this is a fun and bizarre deck to play. Frost Elemental Power is an elemental mage deck with Frost Lich Jaina. Not only do the water elementals Jaina summon freeze all enemies they damage, making the lifesteal trades even juicier by rewarding you with progress towards this achievement, but Ice Walker transforms your hero power into the perfect setup to allow any elemental to gain progress towards this. And with help from Wildfire, it's easier to make Jaina's hero power kill the opposing minion. Mordresh is just a fun finisher or massive board clear when Arcanosaur isn't quite enough. And yes, Glacial Shard and Ray of Frost do a good job of setting up shatter combos as well. This was a fun excuse to revisit Elemental Mage in Wild. But in Standard, the options for getting efficient progress towards this aren't quite so strong. This Frost and Fire deck is jam-packed with freeze synergies, and we were able to destroy multiple frozen minions per game, most games. But the win rate was atrocious. Still, if your main goal is swift progress towards the achievements, this can get you loads of progress towards the Shatter Combo and the Hero Power achievement each game. It was a lot of fun getting real value from Glacier Racer and Mordresh in the same games. And yes, Varden Dawngrasp did make the cut in this one, since they do synergize with this achievement so well. But you could drop Varden and Mordresh for a bit more card draw if you don't have these legendaries, as that felt like one of the main weaknesses of this build. So you don't need to play a specific deck targeted at completing this one, but these are some peculiar options you could try out. Have fun shattering your opponent's boards. Now onto the Mage achievement that does require a bit of dedication to completing it. It's not spamming, it's art. Ultimately expects that we do 300 damage with our hero power as Mage. If not for payoff cards like Mordresh Fire Eye, this one would have felt quite grindy, but fortunately there are several cards in Standard to help this go faster. Fallen Hero, Wildfire, and Reckless Apprentice all make things go a lot faster. Koldara Drake can help too, but it feels too slow when your hero power costs 2 mana. Now, the deck we used to complete this in Standard was this Conjure Mordresh's Illusion Mage, which we've played a few times since early in the expansion. We actually made a highlight video with it and another hero power mage by one of our viewers. You can check out, linked above if you're interested. One of the reasons we were excited about this deck is that it includes a 2-turn kill with a little bit of setup. Using Conjure Mana Biscuit and Potion of Illusion will get you a 1-mana copy of Mordresh to start your second turn very strong. Though oftentimes we were able to kill opponents with only 1 Mordresh, or not even playing him at all. Although it was a small sample size overall, we've won 7 of the 9 games with this deck, so it felt pretty good while grinding this achievement out. But most of those games were played before the refreshing Springwater nerf, and there were times where it took quite a while to find our wildfires. A deck that doesn't rely on refreshing Springwater and is a bit more reliable at drawing wildfire quickly is this Mini Minions Ping Mage from HSReplay. Wildfires are the only natural spells in the deck, so Star Scryers will improve the chances of you drawing them earlier. It still has Mordresh as a finisher, but Alexstrasza provides an additional flexible source of burst or healing. It's also kind of fun to go the exact opposite direction from no minion mage and play tons of minions instead. Now, I mentioned earlier that Koldara Drake feels too slow when your hero power costs 2 mana, but what if you change your hero power to 1 mana? This wild even power mage from HSReplay allows you to do exactly that. You still get to use Reckless Apprentices for AoE progress towards the achievement, but this also includes Spirit of the Dragonhawk to speed things along. And hey, Ice Walker pairs quite nicely with the Spirit of the Dragonhawk and Reckless Apprentice to set up for a Shatter Combo if you're still working towards that. Also, Mordresh isn't the only massive payoff for using your hero power a bunch. Frost Giant can come down surprisingly quickly with this deck as well. It pains me a little bit inside that we didn't include any decks running Jan'alai the Dragonhawk, but we wanted to limit each achievement to a maximum of 3 decks, and this deck made the cut above any with her. But you still get to see Ragnaros in this version, just not from Jan'alai. Have fun artfully melting your opponents for this one. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, drop a like. If we have a flurry of viewers press the like button, it can evoke a reaction from the YouTube algorithm. We're making guides for the rest of the Forged in the Barrens gameplay achievements as well, so there are links in the description to previous ones, and new ones are coming soon. So be sure to check back soon, or subscribe, because we make refreshing content. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy participating in experiments live, check out our stream at twitch.tv/SSAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.
Strength and honor. This is who we are.